Our next speaker is also a retailer. Zooplus is a company that has been massively growing over the past few years. And obviously, growth comes with challenges and new ideas and new innovations, but also challenges in the supply chain. And we couldn't have a better speaker than the Vice President of Fulfillment and Quality for zooplus. Please welcome on stage Neumayer.
So thank you all for being here at this late hour. Having a bar as a competitor to this event is not an easy one. And I saw a lot of people after such a long day being tired. So thanks for being here. So who in the room has a pet? Good sign. Who has already ordered online for their pets? Oh, quite a lot of them. So I hope also with zooplus. That would be good for us. So we are, as mentioned, a growing company. And this company at the moment is still number one in e-commerce in this industry on the market. We are serving 30 countries all over Europe, and we are celebrating this year our 25th anniversary. It was an amazing challenge that the company was doing, and I'm now 7 years with it. And since I joined, we doubled our parcel volume, and this came along for the whole team with quite a lot of questions how we are handling this large increase. COVID was coming, was giving us a lot of opportunity to grow, but also in such an environment, a lot of challenges when a lot of last mile carriers closed their hubs, people having sanity projects and hygiene projects in the FCs to keep all the production up. While other industries went down, we spiked and needed to increase dramatically our volumes. What we did, and what is our mission actually, is that we are saying we believe that celebrating pet love every day is really the part of our vision. What we then, as a mission, need to conduct is that we are the pet destination for all the customers who love their pets, and they should leave us with the rest in order to handle that. And a lot of this, handling the rest, means that logistics and operations actually has a hard job in order to deliver that and to make this happen. What does it mean? So we have currently 11 million customers that we are serving all over Europe. And with almost 43 million parcels that we are shipping annually, that's quite a challenge. And for us, our customers are ordering quite a lot. Animals happily are eating also a lot. So our parcels, in average, are weighing around about 15 kilograms. So that's quite a lot of cube and weight leaving our fulfillment centers every day. How do we handle that? So we have built up the most outstanding logistic network in our industry all over Europe. So we are currently operating 13 fulfillment centers all over Europe. And you saw in the journey how many fulfillment centers we opened in the last couple of years on that. Finding new locations, coming closer to the customers, and making sure that they are getting their delivery in time. And this growth is also allowing us, with being closer to the customers, to reduce lead time. But growth also means, and we are coming now to the topic, that automation is becoming more and more a question for our business. We heard today a lot about mega trends. What is going on in the industry? A lot of different speakers today were outlining a lot of challenges that are coming along on the labor market. We are seeing that in some countries, also, for example, here in the Netherlands, the labor market is getting dry. And there's a lot of competition. E-commerce was growing a lot. And therefore, our products, as mentioned, the average parcel has 15 kilograms. So this means the ergonomic challenges in order for packing, loading these later on are really tough. And therefore, we also needed to think about possibilities. What can we do for our employees in order to make sure that they're staying by providing an ergonomic environment, and how we can leverage automation in this context. We also, on the other hand side, we're seeing quite a lot of trends. You also saw outside a lot of automation providers offering new technologies, a lot of innovation with AMRs coming, and also the prices for automation environments were dropping dramatically on this. So this gave us also the opportunity to check what can we do more in order to support our growth. Data, also another topic that was mentioned multiple times today, was something which is for sure moving us. There are a lot of AI topics, also possibilities how we can support as an operation the weekly swing that we are seeing in e-commerce. We usually have a weekly swing, a monthly swing. Luckily, pets are not eating during Christmas time twice food, so that's helping us a lot. Other e-commerce industries during Christmas are completely exploding, where we are lucky that we see an uplift because customers buy some nice presents for Christmas, also for their pets and some accessories. But luckily, the food, which is the majority of us, is helping us to keep this big swing at an acceptable level. But regardless of that one, data is helping us here, how we can flatten the week by, for example, predictive picking and taking such kind of technologies in order to help us. For us, how do we have this trade-off here? We need to stay on one hand side competitive, meaning we need to invest in quality, but on the other hand side, the costs currently what we are seeing on the labor market, that the costs due to inflation, due to also the salary increases are increasing dramatically. On that side, how do we keep the balance? And there we come to the next part. We were bought 3 years ago by private equity. And with this move, also the complete company strategy was changing. We are experiencing currently a move to increase our assortment. When I was starting in zooplus, we had some 8,000 articles that we offered, very fast-moving, high-turning articles for logistics processes were actually defined and set up exactly for this kind of assortment. With the new ownership and the new management that we have on board, we are going to now up to 30,000 articles. So this is a dramatic change for us in logistics, how we're going to handle that. So therefore, the part that you see in the middle, the processes and solutions completely need to be redefined. The whole network, each fulfillment center architecture and the processes inside need to be touched, need to be changed and amended accordingly to that. For sure, private equity, as mentioned, has also a different investment strategy, which is then later on having an influence how your solutions are going to look like. I'm coming from the left-hand side now, capabilities. When you want to go for automation, it plays a huge role how your parcel picture, how your sales are going to look like. Are the articles in your box fast turning, slow turning? Are they large? Are they small? Do you need to go in the future because you want to deliver much faster to the customers, to pre-sortation, have more services that you're offering that is impacting later on also the outbound processes on that side? Production speed in the warehouse. How much time do we want to give the warehouse in order to produce a parcel? So all these different requirements are currently affecting us where we need to change all the processes to that. On the other hand side, the question was then coming, because currently all the warehouses that I was showing to you before, we are running at the moment with 6 service providers in a fully outsourced model. Now seeing those changes, seeing that we need more automation in order to handle this new assortment range, the question was also popping up, should we reconsider that? Should we change this approach? And this was then coming and was the driver actually for us to reflect on that one and gave some inputs also for that presentation. In the past, here it comes. So in the past, we had for sure our logistics service providers had a unique selling proposition. This was cool. We were smaller, We were in multi-user warehouses, so a lot of the parts were able to share overhead costs, investments, was very attractive for us and helped us a lot to grow and to be also with smaller operations locally present and closer to the customers. But on the other hand side, we are seeing in the business, and this is also one of the trends, that customers' demands and expectations are changing faster than ever. And you need to be agile, you need to be possible and fast to react on this one. But every time when you are in a service contract, you need to renegotiate. You have change requests, contract amendments. They are costing time. And also, this needs overhead, money, and so on. And this part could be a competitive disadvantage, this loss of time. Automation is the most efficient when you tailor it. When you're very close to your needs, when you design it exactly to your processes, to your demand, then you get the best ROIs. You can then have the benefits of it. But it also is then frequently linked with high costs. Usually in the service provider landscape, they are very much interested that the whole investments are being depreciated over the period of the contract in order to have hardly no risks on their side. For us, in the beginning, the strategy was also to go fully outsourced as well, because the service providers were carrying the investments, because we didn't need to take them then in our books. But since IFRS 16 was coming, we need to activate this also on the balance sheet. So a very attractive aspect to go to service providers really disappeared. The solutions that you have in multi-user warehouses, or later on also for a service provider to reduce the risk, is that he tries to generate a solution which is very general, that he can use for multiple customers and not really specifically to the need for exactly one single company, because later on this solution would not work anymore and he couldn't resell it. So for us, it was really something important to consider time and also to see how we have dedicated solutions where we are getting the best out of it. So how is the process looking like in order to get there? So I was showing before the whole set of capabilities. You need to be very clear about this. But what is happening actually, you are on one hand side, you don't know what's happening in the future. We are currently in this journey to go from the 8,000 SKUs to the 30,000 SKUs. We are at the 15. But how are the next SKUs looking like? And I don't know for you in your companies, if you ever wanted to get a commitment from sales or marketing, how the future is going to look like, good luck. That was also an intensive battle that we had in the company to get certain alignments on assumptions, how to play with that. Then what do? You approach either your service provider, the solution provider, or you go via consultancy, or it's a mix of both. So anyhow, where is the best solution, how to get there, and how to speed this up? And finally, in the whole discussion, it's about risk. Who is taking the risk? On one hand side, when you get your offer from the service provider, you have a solution tailored. You get your term sheet, you get the prices for that. Then you pay for the financing, for the investments on this one. And then on top, usually you have a margin, you have a hedge for operational risk. But this operational risk is kept. The rest of this risk is covered actually by the loader, so by us on this side. It can never be fully covered by a service provider. We get a little bit back of it, depending how well you are negotiating your KPI systems around that one, if they are non-performing on that one, but still a lot is staying on our side. And as mentioned, the business risks, you have the crystal ball. How is the future business developing? Are we selling really these articles that we were foreseeing? Do we sell these quantities? Nobody really knows and can't give you 100% of the guarantee. And the more you invest in automation, the more specific it gets, and the higher the risk of inflexibility for such solution is. I'm jumping over that one with regards to time a bit. Only here the key message of that slide was mainly AMRs. So here the solutions with AMRs are giving you much, much more flexibility and are in a lower cost. So this is moving the whole part, should you outsource or insource, again, in a direction of the service providers, because they could help you also using this technology much easier also later on for other customers. If you ask a consultant about a clear answer, you always get, it depends, right? And here it's the same story. If you want to make the decision between make or buy for automation solutions, you have two big areas. One is driven by how specific is the solution that you're requiring in order to get the benefits out of it. The higher this gets, and in combination with the scale of the complexity and capacity that you run for your systems, it's more likely, that's my personal view, in order to insource and to handle that. The lower it gets, the more likely I would recommend or would go with a service provider solution. But there's a gray zone in between. And this gray zone is mainly driven by, on one hand side, how mature is my own organization to start operating the own business? And on the other hand side, how good and how much expertise is my partner having in order to run the show? So that's mainly driving that. Thank you for your attention. And we have probably later on during the evening event, if there are some questions, I'm available for you.
Thank you very much, Christian. Great elaboration on also the entire journey. Also the question for you. What are you most proud of in the zooplus journey?
I think I'm proud of my team because they managed really all this journey in the last years to, on one hand side, make sure that we are growing, but also making sure that not growth and capacity output is the driving factor, but also the quality and the customer experience, that we didn't sacrifice for that.
Thank you very much. Christian Neumayer, ladies and gentlemen.